it's MK, and I am here with another May I Scraplift You layout. And today I am lifting Eve from Caledonia Paper Crafts. She is over in Scotland, which I thought was pretty cool because that's where my family is. So, hey. Anyways, here is the layout that I have chosen from Eve's Instagram account. And I have picked out a couple wood pieces from my shop. I've got all three of the different splats that I offer, splat 1, splat 2, and splat 3, and then 2 of the Simple Sweets little ice cream cones from the Simple Sweets set. I also have various rub-ons from my cruise kit that, like I said, is the leftovers from the cruise kit that we have, that we offered on the ship. So I'm still working with the leftovers. I also have some chipboard pieces that I added from my own stash. And then, some more rub-ons that I had just found. These little flowers here are all, am I not going to show you flowers? Probably not just yet. I think I'm trying to share with you guys. Oh, there they are. They're the vellum flowers that I cut out for my Wonderland project. And then I ended up using the acetate ones instead. And so these are the vellum ones. And I thought, well, I'm going to try to use them on this particular project. So let's see if I can't use those up. I have this word of obsessed because if you guys know me, I love ice cream, certain types of ice cream. I don't like all ice cream, but ice cream is one of the sweets that I do enjoy because there's certain ones that aren't that sweet. The the tags are also from a kit that I had or a pack that I had in my own stash. They were not part of the cruise kit, but all of these labels are. I've got 2 photos. I'm going to use one of my leftover 8x6 papers that are also part of the kit. And then these 2 sheets here are actually from my own stash as well. So I don't have any leftovers. If you make the kit from the cruise kit exactly the way we do, we use this entire sheet as well. So I happen to have another one. It's called the Great Big World from Everywhere, 49 and Markets Everywhere collection, and I'm going to use the postage stamp size. And then I also have this foundation, I believe it's number 1. Surprisingly enough, I thought I was going to avoid this color, but I've been bringing it in almost every layout. I'm going to be sad when this color is no longer, and then I'm just stuck with the colors I usually play with, which are the greens and the blues. Isn't that weird? I see that as weird because this color would probably be the one that I would avoid, but it works for these particular photos that Janet loves to take of me enjoying my ice cream a little bit too much. You guys, seriously, you guys should see. When I go we have an ice cream truck, like a food truck that serves nothing but ice cream. They make fresh their waffle cones every day. Oh my stars, they are the best because they're not sweet. It's really awesome because it's not a sweet treat for me. And if you guys don't know me, I'm not a huge sweet fan. I love savory more than I love sweet. But ice cream is like the top of my list of things, and I love vanilla. I like plain Jane ones. I try to avoid those too sweet ones for me. I do like mango ice cream though. That doesn't seem to be very sweet either. But when I go and I order an ice cream cone from her and it's got to be the waffle cone, she just gets so excited because it's like, oh my gosh, here's an adult that's acting like a little kid that is just loves her ice cream. And so of course, she always makes a big deal when I walk up to her window, like, oh my God. And she treats me like I'm, 5. But it just excites her so much to see people, be excited about a simple little treat, right? Or the fact that this is, and I don't go like every week, right? I go, maybe once every other month, if that. I don't know. So it's not very often, but it's rememberable, right? Something like that. And so, but I do, when I enjoy something and it brings me joy, I want everybody to know that it brings me joy, right? That's just how I am. It's who I am. And I just love bringing, sharing that joy with everybody else or vibrating it off of me so much that everybody else is, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I guess. Anyways. So the first thing I did was went ahead and I matted my photos, and then I only had 7, weird, Photo corners, perfect, because I was covering up a corner anyways. So I used up all 7 of those photo corners, and now I am inking my wood veneer. Now I did take the masking off of this gorgeous wood veneer. This is my whitest wood that I can get, which what that basically means to anybody else is when you have a very, very blonde wood like this, you're going to get true to form colors. So even though I'm using my distress inks, I still get this vibrant color because of the color of the wood that I am applying this ink to. It just looks fabulous. I normally just use my oxides, but because of this wood being in its white form, I am able to use the distress inks and still get the color that I am almost looking for, right? It's not going to be true exact because you are putting it on a blonde rather than a pure white, but it's still very, very close to what I am looking for. Another thing too that I really wanted to point out, because I see all these beautiful projects using my wood veneer, and it saddens me that the masking is left on, which kind of gives it a dirty look. When you can see the masking and it's dirty, or if you look at the wood veneer and it's dirty, that just means the masking is still on there. You want to peel that off. So when you go and turn it over and peel the adhesive off, the backing of the adhesive off, if your wood veneer on the front isn't as gorgeous as what it looks like on the back, you probably still have the masking on. So try to peel that masking off. I leave the masking on for you guys in case you guys want to use your pens and markers and things like that and get color on your wood. Or if you want to do embossing powders, things like that, anything, that is why I leave it on for you guys. Because I want you guys to be able to do what you want with your wood. So a lot of people actually leave the masking on because they wanted that grunge effect, that dirty effect. So, and on some pieces, I get it. I totally understand. Or some people leave it on because it's the darker wood and they don't want the darker wood, because some of my more boyish pieces are on the darker side. So anyways, I will stop talking about the wood veneer. That's taken up way too much time as it is. Let's get back. So I know that I'm going to put my photo over on the right because that, for one, that's kind of the way that I'm pointing. Like that's, I don't know. For me, directional wise, it looks good, right? Most people put their photos on whichever side of the page because of that's the subject matter is looking into or over on that side. So you put it on the opposite. So like if I was looking over to the right, then I would want to be on the left side of my album or my page. And then if I was doing this, looking over to the left, then I want to be on the right side of my page. This one here, I'm basically looking straight at her. But I am, my right shoulder is in the background. My left is in the front, but it still looks good over here on the right. Plus that's where Eve had hers. And I think that's basically where I was driven to, copying entirely, except I don't put a big banner behind my photo for the title. I'm actually using another label, right? I have all these labels and things that are completely left over. Some of them were fussy cut out of the Foundations paper pack. Some of them were part of the die cut pack, things like that. So I just have a lot, and most of my labels were these orange and green. I tend to drift more towards all of the blues, and I use up all the blues first, and so I am left with orange and green. So I thought this would be a perfect layout because I have this lime green water cup that is constantly in my hand every cruise. Every cruise that we go on for Royal, I always have this type of cup in my hand. If it's not blue, it's green, right? And so at least that's what I prefer. I don't like the blue and the purple one, and I definitely don't like the pink and yellow one. So my cups are very similar almost always. And so yeah, I definitely am super excited with how, I was able to bring in that green because of this lime green cup in my hand. I've also got a blue lanyard on, so I can add some blue, plus the background of me is blue, and then I am very neutral. I'm actually wearing my Western outfit. for today. Sorry, I keep saying because it seems like I just don't know really what I'm talking about, to be honest. But it was easy for me to be able to add orange because of how neutral my photo is. And I love photos like this where I could use my embellishments to bring in a lot of color. I absolutely love that. And I definitely think that this purple, this mauve wine color, brings in a lot of it as well. It allows, it's so muted that it allows my photos to be, to pop off the page as well, even though my photos are very muted if you look at them that way too. Janet and I had a lot of fun taking pictures like this because we were playing with a lot of different settings on our phone. We hardly ever, normally we just point and click, right? And that's it. But this time it seemed like a much calmer cruise than our first cruise. And so we were able to, play with portrait mode. We were able to play with aspect ratios. We were able to play with our phones and try different settings to get different pictures because we didn't seem like it was go, go, go like our first cruise. And I don't know what the difference was. Maybe it was all the different sea days because we had a lot of sea days up front, whereas at the last cruise, we had a lot of sea days at the back. And so definitely was a different vibe of a cruise. And I just felt calmer. I didn't feel like everything was hurry up and get going type of cruise. And I loved that about this cruise. It was fabulous. The girls that went on this cruise with us were amazing. I loved getting to know them. Not that I didn't enjoy the last cruise. The first cruise was amazing as well, you guys. It really, really was. I loved both cruises. I love this idea of getting to know all the scrappers that show up and want to do this adventure with us. It was so much fun. We ran into each other at the ports. It was just a blast, you guys. It really, really was. So I'm just sorry. I am bragging. It's not a sales pitch, I swear. It is definitely not a sales pitch. For future, if you guys are curious, we do have a Facebook group for 2027's cruise, and we are going to make a Facebook group for the retreat that we would like to do on land. So if you guys are interested in either one of those or both of those, please leave a comment down below. I will send you a link to invite you to these groups. They are just chatter groups right now, just rolling ideas off because we want to be able to accommodate everybody, even though that's highly impossible. But we do want to take into consideration what everybody wants, right? We don't want to just continue to do things if it's not what people want. So that is definitely something that we open up the chatter for, and get a feel of what it is that people are looking for, whether it's project-wise or, a different cruise that we haven't even heard of yet, and things like that, or retreat houses that are, that can handle 20-plus people, things like that. We are always looking for not really assistance, but opinions and suggestions and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested, let me know, and I will send you guys a link for for that cruise, for our chatters, not just the cruise chatter, but the land chatter as well. So we will get that going as well. So here I was trying to figure out how to use up all of these little compasses that are, they're compass roses from the rub-on stack, and I had a ton of them, and I thought, well, the splatters look a little like circles. I have one whole circle label left over, so I thought, okay, I could use these to add more circles, and I definitely liked the light blue ones more than I did the black ones. I do end up adding the black and the pastel black. I did end up adding both of those as well, but I do like the light blue ones more, even though I added the black because of the postage stamps in the background. So that definitely helped with the black. I also have a bunch of tiny words that say delight, pure joy, things like that I am going to add with a couple of these pieces, just so that way I can you know, instead of just having a word, I have other things to go with said words, right? So up in the one little splatter up at the top, now these large splatters with the holes in them, they are actually meant to go with the flare that are out there. There's different kinds of flare out there from different manufacturers. I'm not going to say that I made them just for Scrap and Happy Studio, but that is where I got my measurement from, is the canvas flare. So some of the flare might be a little bit too small if you're trying to compare it to other brands of flare, which I think is fine in a way. But yes, that is where I got my measurement from. And so I thought it would be kind of cool to have that messy look, especially she has a like a home repair one, and some people paint during home repairs. And so you got a splash of paint or something like that. And then, of course, you also have, baking cookies. So you make a mess with an egg or something, or the flour goes everywhere, things like that. And so I really wanted the splatters to go with the different types of flare that were out there, and show that it's making a mess and you splat it everywhere. And then the smaller ones were made for those really large enamel dots that we had. And for this one, I did not have any large enamel dots in these particular colors, but I had these awesome words from the enamel pack that came with the Everywhere. And so I decided to use those in a few of them. I couldn't find a third word, but I thought, you know what? It's okay if I leave a couple blank. I don't mind. It's got words in it, even though they're not, legible. So I definitely thought that it worked really well, not to fill in every single one of the little blank, in the circles in the splats. So anyways, I absolutely had a blast. I had so much fun making this layout, you guys. Thank you, Eve, for such an amazing layout and allowing me to lift your layouts. Don't forget to check out the link that I have down below for May I Scraplift You. And also, too, don't forget to check out Janet Fritz's channel, because she is scrapping on a ship with me and sharing her photos of the same trip with me this time. All right, you guys, again, thank you so much, and I'll check y'all later. Bye.